Hello, every pony, and welcome back to Fandom Fridays, where we proceed to check out all the fanfics that are not pony related. Okay, after reading Hohenshai for a bit, I've been really getting into a Pokemon fit, and I really need some Pokemon action right about now, and I also feel like reading something Sonic related, so let's do one of those grand classics of all crossovers, something that seems to pop up multiple times for no reason at all. We present to you a Pokemon Sonic crossover. Enjoy. What? You're really going to just... Fine, just let me get to it. Tweeberry Memorial Library is proud to present this, by the way. Pokemon, the first victory by I Hate Snat Steel. Well, I also hate Roar when I'm in the middle of a Pokemon battle, but you don't see me using that as my screen name. Oh, I long for the days of using for saying Arcade Striker's name. Shut up. Pokemon: The First Victory, Chapter 1. Tails sat on the bed in his room in the Blue Typhoon. He saw himself in his room after making the repairs needed for him and his friends' return to safety to Mobius instead of being lost in space. Despite the fact he saved the entire galaxy from being destroyed by the Metarex, it felt as though he had just lost everything instead. Hey, the Metarex is capitalized! Amy's voice came through the intercom to his room since he has locked the door.
Tails, come out and see the view of Mobius from space. It's beautiful.
Tails barely heard her. After a few seconds paused, Amy exclaimed,
It's not Gecko.
Tails faintly heard her say.
Sharing a kiss under the stars is gonna be so romantic.
She walked away from the other side of the door. Upon registering those words, Tails felt like he had been built from another additional mountain of lead. He started to cry again, though his muzzle had a dry coating of tears already. He could never share the view of Mobius from space, or anything else with his loved one. Cosmo was dead. He had slowly fallen in love with her over the course of their journey through space to fight the Metarex. He was shy at first, but eventually his love grew. However, just when his feelings began to blossom, the final battle was upon them. And Tails had to fatally shoot the final Metarex commander with the sonic power cannon in order to save the galaxy. However, Cosmo was immobilizing Dark Oak at the time and the shot killed her too. Saying he didn't want to was a horrible understatement, but Cosmo had begged him and there was no other choice. Author, please put your note at the freaking bottom of the screen! Putting this right in the middle of the paragraph kind of disorientates the reader. Shortly after returning to Mobius, the mayor of the Station Square contacted Sonic and asked that he and his friends be a part of a formal award ceremony commending them for saving the planet. Sonic arrived at Tails' workshop and let himself in. After checking the living area and workshop, he found Tails lying in his bed in his room, staring at the ceiling. He walked into the room and said, Tails, we've been invited to an award ceremony for saving the world. No response. Sonic continued, I know you're depressed, but some fresh air will do you good. Tails replied, Oh, no you don't! Enter!
Go without me.
Sonic responded. Okay. You asked for it, Fick! Sonic and Tails arrived at the city center at the last minute. After they took their positions on stage, the mayor began to prepare a speech praising them. Tails hardly heard any of it. The flowers in the nearby fields, along with the happy couples in the crowd, were glowing reminders of how he lost Cosmo. Tails was brought back to the present when the crowd cheered. A cameraman came up with the mayor and moved to the presenting Wamel. The mayor whispered to him, You're on TV right now. You'll look up a battle be about half an hour before you know it. That tore it. Tails cried out. He sprinted back to his workshop and closed the door. Sonic didn't seem to be following him, so at least he'd be alone for a bit. Few minutes later, Tails looked at his favorite photo of Cosmo, and a fresh wave of tears came from his eyes.
Why did it have to end this way?
He said aloud, though no one else was within earshot.
You're supposed to come and live with us. We would have been so happy together. I loved you.
he finished desperately. A few seconds later, silence passed, and then Tails buried his face in his hands, tears still flowing. I have the power to grant what you desire, a deep voice said from an unknown source. Tails lifted his head and looked around.
Who's there?
He said quickly. Okay, I'm going to be nice since this is exposition. I am the Kage no Kitsune. Yes, Vic. We study basic Japanese. You don't have to translate Kitsune. A being as old as time is itself. Tails took his all in as the voice continued. And I have the power to save the one you love, if you complete my challenge. Tails' eyes widened, then dried his tears on his arm. Whatever it is, I'll do it, he said firmly. Then allow me to brief you on your task. The voice said, will somebody please tell me why you authors ignore the basic enter button? I'm pressing the button right now. It works! The space around Tails rematerialized into a room made of what appeared to be card obsidian. It had no windows, but seemed to be fully lit, despite having not any obvious light sources. Standing in front of him was a nine-tailed kitsune. Its fur as black as shadows, it appeared to be fully matured. I'm glad you could make it, Tails. Its voice sounded the same as the one before, so Tails knew it was who had spoken in his workshop. Blank. I refuse to speak anymore until this author knows how to work for a freaking enter button. Prayed to chaos, it was something he could actually do. Open this jar of pickles. The kitsune looked at him. His Tails felt as his very soul was being examined somehow. The whole situation made him very nervous. But he knew he'd never forgive himself if he ran for this chance. After a moment, the other kitsune replied, Are you familiar with the world of Pokemon? The question caught Tails off guard. I'll take that as a yes. Your challenge is to defeat Mewtwo at the Battle of New Island. The memories of movie night came flying back to him. Mewtwo destroying the lab in which it was created, Giovanni's his mistake in trying to tame it, the raging storm that almost destroyed the Pokemon world. Most of all, the fact that nothing anyone tried to seem even close to defeating Mewtwo. Well, you see, Dark types hadn't been invented yet. And unfortunately, nobody had a Tyranitar. Although, fear not, the Dark Kitsune said, shaking Tails out of his spot. I won't send you anywhere without some hope of results. Tails tried to calm down gently. Since you are Kitsune, with full maturity comes Ninetales and incredible powers. I'll allow you access to these powers for the duration of the challenge, and knowledge of what they can be used for. Vic? Why not just give him a couple of strong legendaries? Why not just arm him with Rayquaza, Tyranitar, a team of Rayquaza, Tyranitar. I'll be right back. Okay, so I just went through and talked to my team of professional Pokemon experts, and we've all agreed that the rest of them seems to include Palkia, Darkrai, Giratina, and Lugia. A nice, balanced team, for that way the Pokemon can all work together, and that way you can win. But go ahead, Kitsune. What are the rules? You must not interfere with Mewtwo's path until the events of New Island, and you mustn't let Azcaster be involved at that time. This is your battle, not his. So, you're gonna make me a Gary Stu in the Pokemon world? Basically, yeah. Kinda cheating now that I think about it. You know, all I can think of right about now is how much I prefer Hoenshine with that idea. Tails' surroundings rematerialized into a thick forest with a trail going through it. He looked around and saw a Pokedex and a single empty Pokeball on a nearby stump. He figured they were for him. He knew that these items were, and what they were used for, since Chris had talked his ears off about Pokemon more than once during his time on Earth. Then Tails thought of a problem. In his current form, he'd probably be mistaken for a Pokemon. Almost immediately, he thought of a solution. One of his Kitsune powers was the ability to disguise. Why not just make him look like a Pokemon trainer? We don't need the powers. What he wants this guy's form to look like, and what Pokemon trainers usually look like. So he hadn't seen any outside of Pokemon's main characters. Tails decides shoes and gloves to be what normally would wear, blue jeans, black undershirt. Oh, you tried to trick me! Ah. Oh yeah, I can see it. His hair would be the same color because Horn's hair would be so normal. Eventually, the Thor stood down. Tails saw a settlement up ahead. On a sign on the path said, Pure City, 2 miles. As Tails went toward Miles, he realized that as much as he disliked it, he had to use his name miles per hour. For a moment, he thought of calling himself Tails, but it made no sense given his current form. A few minutes later, Tails went to Pure City. It appeared to be a few hours until sunset. Hi! But he decided to find a place to stay ahead of time, in case it took a while. He didn't have any money, but figured that Pokemon Center would let him stay the night free of charge. As Tails walked into Pokemon Center, he was greeted by Nurse Joy. May I help you? She replied warmly. Tails was very feeling hungry by the time it was his turn in line, since he hadn't eaten anything previous week. He got his food and found a vacant table to eat at. As he ate, he listened to the conversations the trainers were having. I suggest you avoid the Viridian gym. Why? The leader has some terrible powerful Pokemon that beat my entire team. Loser. Really? What was it? How did it beat you? Secretary replied. I didn't see it clearly. I just saw it had glowing, creepy eyes. Personally, since I'm from Unova, I think it was a Palkia. Chris explaining about Tim Bows. Then he recalled scenes from Pokemon the first movie, and recalled that I guess that mystery Pokemon might be Mewtwo. Fick. Let's make it this. Let's have a deal. You don't make this just another movie reject, and I promise you, and Tails being able to kick so much ass it ain't even funny, and I promise you, I won't have my personal Mewtwo beat the snot out of you. Even once, he knew what time frame he had for the challenge. After finishing his food, Tails went to clear his plate when he heard another conversation. Finally got rid of that useless Vulpix. Fool! You leave her alone! How do you do that? I left her for reinforce and told her to come back for it. It was useless and gullible. So it wasn't weak, you just decided to waste that perfectly good time. And you're saying that in the middle of a Pokemon Center. In front of Nurse Joy. Asswipe. Sadness as he thought about his childhood before Sonic. Remember the constant hunger and pain no one being loved or loved by. Tails returned to the food store area and asked, What's waiting for Radiant Forest? Also, can I get something to go? Tails left the Pokemon Center with a small packet of food in his hand. He was outside Pure City's limits, and he took out his Pokedex. He opened it, and in it said a computer-sized voice, I am Dex, the Pokemon Encyclopedia. What do you wish to know? Vulpix, fox Pokemon. Its 6 tails are extremely beautiful. As it evolves, it grows even more tails. In recently studies have also found Vulpixes to be highly intelligent and quick learners. They are also quite playful. Especially if you hold a string right above their heads. I personally prefer to have a chili pepper so that way I can What? I trained fire Pokemon, guys! After a few minutes, Tails came upon a small clearing and saw a Vulpix huddled at the shade of the tree. He stepped closer and turned to look at him. You must be hungry. Tails said, but before he could get the food out, the Vulpix growled at him. Tails figured he didn't trust him. Therefore, he spoke slowly from his stood. That's why I bring you this. He unwrapped the food and set it to the ground. I'll leave it right here. It's yours to eat if you want. He turned and left. During the encounter, Tails had been downwind of Vulpix, so he get a good feel for its scent. Find it much faster by the next time it smell. Since when could Tails smell that good? As he walked back to the forest, Tails heard eating sounds. He figured Vulpix had eaten food and he left. The next morning, Tails had brought some breakfast leftovers to Vulpix, who now seemed slightly less hostile before. At lunchtime, it seemed to give an almost expectant look rather than an aggressive one. Tails hoped he was making progress as he headed out to the same spot of forest after eating dinner, food packets in hand. Vulpix was intrigued by the previous evening's events and today's. He had only refrained from life in the wild before a bossy human defeated him in battle and captured him. Like other Pokemon being captured by trainers, he hoped to please his new master and develop a bond. However, it would quickly seem useless to try, since nothing he ever did seemed to displease the human. He suspected in retrospect that the human didn't care about him, that he was just being used. A few days ago, the human had left him in this forest and told him he'd come back with something special. That never happened, and after a day or two, he realized he'd been betrayed. Vulpix was getting very hungry when another human shut up. Ow! See, Whiplash! This one was several years younger than his old master, so at least this human didn't call him a Pokemon trying to battle him. Didn't even seem to regard him as a prize to be caught like he expected it to. The unusual human had spoken with concern. He understood the entire meaning clearly, but didn't want to trust the human after what had happened to him in the past. This concerned human somehow understood his mistrust, and left food behind him. More intriguingly, the human had returned with 2 more food packages over the course of the next day. Digging through all this, the Vulpix noticed the air smelled moist, about to rain soon. They heard footsteps intense. When at last he saw a concerned human looking back with more food. The human set the food on the ground. Instead of trying to leave, he stepped back 10 feet and waited. It's okay, come and eat. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to stay right here. Cautiously, the Vulpix walked over and ate the food. Then the human stood in the air. Just as fast, the Vulpix heard the human say, seems like there's going to be a storm tonight. You need to spend the night with me instead of out here. Vulpix tensed. Then the wind shifted and caught a whiff of concerned human scent. It smelled different than any other human Vulpix had ever known before. In fact, there's something familiar and comforting about it. Vulpix slowly walked over to the human and gently petted his fur. He rubbed the human's leg and returned, earning a smile from him. Then the human reached him down and picked him up. Vulpix tensed a bit, but when he noticed the human's grip was gentle and the hold was comfortable, he said he'd been gone in his car silly, and thus very tired. Vulpix fell asleep as the human carried him to a place where he'd be spending the night. Tails smiled as he saw his new companion slip into a peaceful slumber. After all, he knew what it was like to gain a friend. Okay, that's it. I've gotten annoyed by this. I just brought in with me 2 Pokemon trainers from different walks of life. One prefers the card game, and the other one loves playing the actual games. Guys, Tails here just caught a Pokemon, not by doing the traditional battling it with another Pokemon, wakening it, and then catching it, but just giving it food and treats, and then feeding it before catching it. Now, does that sound fair to either one of you?
That's unfair.
Thank you.
How's it unfair?
We work hard. We work hard to catch our Pokemon.
Yeah, do you know how much effort, time I spent trying to catch my whole horde of Eevees so that way I could have an Eevee evolution for almost every single type? Do you know how many months it took? Okay, not months. Do you know how many hours I spent working hard to capture each little Eevee, hoping and praying that I didn't knock each one out with my level 30 Charizard? Chore!
But Ash makes friends with them and he gets them.
Yes, but most of the time he also still battles them and proceeds to do the things the normal way.
Yeah, he knocks them out and catches them.
Like Krabby, who's awesome.
Or Kirby.
It's cute. Oh, sir, break my heart
You
like
didn't do
this.
that to Charmander.
Charmander belonged to an asswipe.
I don't think. Did you do that to Metapod?
No.
That might evolve from Kirby.
Sorry, Cat. Oh yeah, right, Caterpie.
Well, thank you for your assistance. You two all make sure to call you again. Never. Diddles. The things I have to do in order to get a paycheck. Come on, Spyro. Let's continue. But you know what? I think I'm gonna leave it there because I have a feeling that whatever's going to happen next is going to really annoy me, and I just wanted to have some Tales of Vulpix scenes. And besides, it might even interest you guys to read the rest of it. One down, fastest way to go. See you next time.